Happy Homebrew Wednesday. Some fucking Westies next door, making a bloody noise. This is the Effing Oats Stout Challenge beer with a few of the BrewTube boys in New Zealand. And yeah, I showed you a little bit of footage last week of me dry hopping with cacao nibs. And I came back 2 days later, and there's a pellicle on top. So this is now the Brett Stout Fun Challenge. Cheers to Jason Manor Brew for identifying the pellicle as being a Brett. So yeah, cheers. Normally, I've had no problems. I heated up those cacao nibs up to 120 degrees, left them there for about 10 minutes. I've done that probably about 3 times, no dramas. And this time, yeah, it was a new brand of, see, they're organic, that's the problem. Organic cacao nibs, and I think there must have been some wild yeast on them. So there's a pellicle, but tastes good. I came up with a plan of just getting that chilled straight into the keg. It'll get bottled up off the keg, so no dramas with it fermenting even more. So yeah, it's tasting bloody good, boys. So be afraid. Be very, very afraid. It's not that good. It's actually a bit too roasty. Even though I did the whole like grains on top of the mash. But anyway, I'm happy with it. It's good. It's yummy. It's roasty. It's hoppy. It's milky. It's chocolatey. What more could you want? And it's holding your head. Yeah, that's good. What else? Yeah, I'm nearly at 200 subs, which is pretty good for some yokel living in the outskirts of Auckland. So like I did for the 100 subs comp, I'm going to do some merch. And I'm going to do some more Floor Sweepers Union merch. And I've decided I'm going to do a t-shirt, mainly because I want t-shirts, and you might get one of my offcasts. So the plan is nothing elaborate really. I'm not worried whether you live in Alaska or Zimbabwe or just down the road. That's not a hint, Luke. You've got to work for it. Yeah, my comp idea is come up with a really cool idea for what you'd want on like a homebrew t-shirt. So just think, I don't know about you guys, but if you go to a shop and you buy a t-shirt, as a man, as a guy, you're kind of quite particular as to maybe what you wear. So come up with a really cool idea for either a graphic, probably not a slogan. I think slogans are a bit crap. But come up with a cool graphical idea for a t-shirt, and I'll get my logo on it and I'll get it made. How about that for a comp? Yeah, if your idea is a shithouse, I'll just come up with a cool idea and I'll just give it away to someone random. But hopefully you guys will come up with a cool idea. Nothing cliche, something original, and it's got to work on a black tee because that's what we wear in Kaukapakapa. We wear black. Yeah, what else? I don't know if you can hear away slightly in the distance. There's a bit of a kind of bass drum thump coming from my fermenter because I've got that DKN going. 2 little 3-gallon bottles, which I didn't end up putting different yeast in. I really thought about it, and I was like, bugger it, I don't want to overcook this DKN. So yeah, Dropkick Nate, 6 gallons of it. Should be ready in a couple of weeks, and it's cranking with 2 packs of USO5, which is my go-to fermentation method for ales. I had a go at trying to make a bit of a California Commons WLP001 or some sort of shit. I had a go at trying to make a yeast starter, but you know, like it had all the true from the last batch, so it was just full of green, and I was just worried about getting grassiness, so I just put some dry yeast in it. Which, yeah, I think that's the way to go on an ale. Yeah, and thanks to Luke from Wagon Brewing who gave up some of his Sunday. He ended up having to do weeding at his house, but he opened up the homebrew shop, and I got some supplies to get that done. So yeah, get a little bit of footage of the DKN Brew Day coming up after me rambling. What else? Yeah, I had a meet up with Dean, otherwise known as Tube Dinos, and Shauno, who's otherwise known as Megaton Brewing, and that was really cool. So yeah, went to Deep Creek and tried some number 8 wide beers. Ended up getting a free 6-pack from those guys, which was outstanding. And Dean gave it to me. What a good citizen. And yes, I'll try and make sure some of the boys get some of those. And what else have I done? I started doing some chiller experiments. Stas has been winding me up something chronic about saying, look, Carl, sort your chiller business out. Use some science. So I bloody well am, Stas. And yeah, I'll probably do like a compilation of chilling. It sounds as exciting as kind of watching paint dry, but I'll try and make it interesting. So yeah, I also said to Zane from Rookie Brew that I'd do a chiller video. So yeah, I've got that coming up probably a couple of weeks or so when I do some more brews, and I've got some empirical data to work off. At the end of the day, I'm not a science teacher, I'm an art teacher, so I just make up bullshit and paint it. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that stout. Not getting any Brett yet, but I suppose if I leave it too much longer out of the keg in a bottle, I might get some. Who knows? But you're getting it, boys. You're getting it and you're going to drink it. What else? That's about it. DKN video to follow. Cheers for watching. Nearly at 200 subs. Thanks to all the guys that have joined us from the BrewTube Facebook group. That's really cool. And hope I'll keep some more content coming. And keep repping us little guys at the far end of the globe who like beer, and we're not like our usual kind of colleagues who just drink shitty piss like Double Brown and Tui. So no, that's enough for me. Here's some clips, and we'll see you next week. What I'm going to brew? I'm just addicted to pale ales. I'm going to try and do one of those. I'm going to nail it, boys. Cheers. See ya. Alright, after a few fits and starts, we're getting there. HLT into the mash tun. The mighty DKN. I'm not going to tell you the ingredients. So a few guys have asked me about my electric system. This is the PID here, and you flick that on and off, and turns the element on. So if you got a quick brain, it'll be good. Pulse switching a little bit tricky. So here's my electric system. 15 amps at 3000 watts on the HLT. 2.5 on the boil kettle. So just moving round and round. Only 2 malts in this. I chucked some acid malt in there though, just to sort the pH out, which I'm about to read. 200 grams of that, and halfway through the mash, getting pretty clear. Not much in there, so just a very, very light colour with some stinky hops to go on later. 5.4 with a bit of mash additions, and that 200 of acid malt. So in the ballpark. Calibrated it, and probably teaching you to suck eggs, but if you haven't done a mash pH reading before, make sure your mash sample is at room temperature, about 25 degrees. Alright, finished mashing, and we'll just ramp this bad boy up to mash out temp, and we'll try and get on over to the boil kettle. This is going to be one of the most pale beers I've ever done. Super clear after that 1 hour circ. And yeah, even clearer and less colour than a lager. So I've used this Blickman sparge arm for probably about 4 brews now, so I'm getting pretty accustomed to it. Main thing I need to do is actually set a mark on that little clamp there, the clamp mechanism, just somewhere on the teeth, so I know where my kind of 4.5 gallon mark is, just so I can set that up every time and not have to fluff around with it. Still haven't got round to putting a fitting on here. You'll notice I've stopped it from leaking this week, but yeah, I need a quick disconnect the sun description there. Not too worried about flow, of course, because I'm trying to choke that right back, but so far I'm pretty happy with the damn thing, because all I need to do is set that and then set that one ball valve, as opposed to having to set the HLT ball valve. So yeah, out of 10, a bit of fluffing around, but I'd give that a solid 8. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I've managed to do sparges up to sort of like 45 minutes by just choking that right back. So yeah, Blickman sparge arm, so far so good. Needs a slight mod there for disconnect, but yeah, I'd give it a go. Alright, while that finishes the rest of its sparging, just put those kettle additions in. And yeah, I haven't tried that pale ale that I've done recently, but Hopefully all my water chemistry, kind of doing it properly this time, will pay off. And I'll get some clean, hoppy ales. Alright, looks like we get a boil. To be honest, I'm a little bit over the volume. I think I gathered about an extra gallon than I required, so I might give that a 15-minute boil head start, just to boil it off a bit, get rid of a bit of water, and yeah, I think I ended up doing like a 75-minute boil, but obviously just 60 on the first wort hops. And what you hear is a very quick save. Just turn that element off. We're very close to a boil over. Never turn your back on a boiling pot till you know you've got that hot break, people. I'm sure you've all made that mistake before. And then with a flick of the switch, she's boiling now. That's a bit safer. All it took was that semi near miss boil over, and we're in the safety zone. First edition at 60 minutes. Had a bit of an interlude where I decided to boil a bit off. I kind of cocked up the sparge. Pretty much I fiddled with the ball valve, even though I shouldn't have. It was already set and going nicely. Fiddled with it and end up with too much. But I'm up to 11 bricks at 60-minute boil, so be interesting to calculate the boil off rate. Pretty exciting stuff. A bit of Irish moss and some yeast nutrient. And in goes, whoops, missed that. In goes an ounce of hops at 5 minutes to go, and it'll be followed by 2 ounces at 80-degree whirlpool.